A petty cash account is used for small purchases where going through the check approval process is too time consuming. There are two journal entries involved in the petty cash process. The first is the journal entry to establish the funds. The second is the journal entries to replenish the funds when it's out of money. Let's assume a company wants to establish a petty cash fund for $100 and use this for small purchases. The establishment of the fund is a debit to petty cash and credit to cash for $100. In reality, the company is writing a check made out to cash $100 and then cashing it. Now the petty cash fund has $100 for small purchases. Let's assume the following petty cash transactions took place during the month of April. We had postage for $24, shipping for $28, supplies for $14, and let's say we had a pizza party for $20. At the end of the month, the petty cash box has $86 of receipts and $14 remaining in cash. To replenish the petty cash account, we need money. In this case, we need $86 to add to the $14 that's remaining in the petty cash account. This will bring the funds back to $100 in cash. In order to do this, we need to make a journal entry and write a check to ourselves. In this example, we did debit the expenses as usual, and then we would credit cash for $86. Once we cash the $86 check, our fund will be back to $100. However, this is not always the case, and sometimes our petty cash fund is off. When this happens, we use a term called cash over and short. Basically, in the scenario, when the account has a debit balance, it means it's expense and it's short. When the account has a credit balance, it means it's a revenue and it means the petty cash fund is over. So let's look at the example again, but this time, let's assume we only have $10 of petty cash on hand. We need $90 cash to add to the $10, and that will bring our fund back to $100. In order to do this, we make a journal entry and write a check to ourselves. In this example, we debit the expenses as usual, and we credit the cash for $90. Of course, 86 does not equal to 90. Therefore, we will need to debit cash over and short for $4 to make the journal entry balance. Once we cash the $9 check, our fund will be back at $100. Finally, let's last look at the example, but this time let's assume we have $20 of petty cash on hand. We only need $80 in cash to bring the fund back to $100 to balance. In order to do this, we need to make a journal entry and write the check to ourselves. In this example, again, we debit all the expenses as usual, and we credit cash for $80. Of course, 86 does not equal to $80. Therefore, we need to credit cash over and short for $6 to make the journal entry balance. Once we cash the $8 check, our funds will be back to $100. And that concludes this short video of how to account for petty cash.